Welcome to today's video. This one is on how to be creative. I created IdeaPod, a social network for ideas, and over the course of many years I've thought probably more about this topic than any other. How to create the conditions in your life to consistently be more creative, to consistently come up with new ideas, and to also create the conditions in your life so that you can start putting these ideas into practice. I'm going to share with you today what I've learnt. I've woken up here in the oasis in kind of the Brazilian desert. I'll let you know in the comments, in the description below, exactly where this is. I've just woken up in that, can you see the red hammock? I've just woken up there and I am going to be walking 16 kilometers today. During this journey, I'm going to share with you everything I've learned, so stick with me. Before we begin with the tips, I want to note that they are for all kinds of people. I'm an entrepreneur. I love to build things. I love to be doing, to be in action-oriented mode. So they certainly work for me, but just the same, they're going to work as well for artists and more creative types of people who really do come up with ideas to create concepts, to create different kinds of things with. You don't need to be a person like me. You can be any kind of person to benefit from these tips. The first thing you need to do is to consistently do things that are outside your comfort zone, that create pressure, that make you feel stress. You see, stress is your friend. When we sleep at night, the neuroscience research says that it's not just about the brain going through what happened that day and coming up with new solutions. It goes through the situations that created stress, that created a release of cortisol in the system, because the brain wants to evolve. It wants to come up with solutions to things that really push up against your sense of welfare, your sense of well-being, because it wants to protect you. So what you need to do is consistently do things that create stress in your life. Stress is not a bad thing. It's actually a wonderful thing because it means that you're outside your comfort zone, you're doing something new, and you're doing something that you just can't figure out a solution for. In my case, I've never created videos before. I've just started doing this and I'm making so many mistakes and I'm learning so much from it, from looking at what's going on. And I've got no doubt that while I'm sleeping, the brain is just constantly tinkering and evolving the way these videos are created. I hope you're going to see some of those changes over time. So the first tip is do things that take you outside your comfort zone. Whoa. The next tip I've got is that you need to consistently do new things. That can mean many different things in your life, but it's very important to give your brain a lot of new information, new inputs, so that while it's processing at night and coming up with these new ideas for you, helping you to be a more creative person, you're giving it new inputs so that what it's reconfiguring is taking information from lots of different sources. There's many ways to get new things into your life. You could do what I'm doing now, which is to go on a phenomenal adventure, experiencing a landscape that you don't often experience. In my case, that's what's happening right now. And I try to do this as often as I can. But of course, you can do this in your own life by going to a different park on the weekend, doing exercise in different places. You can read new books, see the world through other people's eyes. You could get access to different sources of information online. There's so many different ways to give yourself, your brain, new inputs, but it's really important so that what's being reconfigured at night comes from a wider variety of sources. The third tip, or I guess it's really a foundational element that you need in your life to consistently be creative, is habits and routines. You see, we need to experience new things so that we can be more creative and have new inputs, but we also need to do the same thing over and over again so that the knowledge we build up becomes intuitive. You see, it's after many hours that we actually learn to become an expert at something, where we do things not from the frontal cortex of the brain, but from intuition. So we need something in life, a routine, where we're doing the same thing over and over. If we're an artist, we need to be practicing our art every day, trying to create, practicing the craft, getting better and better at it. Even when we're not feeling like doing it, we just develop that consistent routine. It might only be an hour a day. If we're a writer, it's the same thing. Creating something every day, contributing to the body of work that you're creating. If you're an entrepreneur like me, it means developing processes that are repeatable over and over, whether it's me doing it or training people in how to do the same things over and over. You need that part of your life so that you're consistently developing intuitive knowledge, so that the brain, when it's sleeping at night, is reconfiguring that deeper instinctual knowledge that we have, so that the ideas we come up with are very applicable to what we're trying to create, what we're doing in life, and it becomes much more relevant that way. What a journey today's been. Brings me to the fourth tip. The fourth foundation for living a creative life and coming up with good ideas is humility. You see, I've noticed that the people with humility are those who understand the limits of their knowledge. They don't feel like they know it all. And when you have this disposition that you don't know everything, you're more open to new ideas. You're more open to be able to find those hidden gems, to be able to approach things with a sense of curiosity and wonder, as though you're actually experiencing something for the very first time. And I think that really is humility, and humility is about respecting the limits of our knowledge. We made it to our destination, this beautiful lagoon for the sunset. It brings me to the fifth and final tip or foundational element to living a creative life, and that is to surround yourself with similarly creative people that are committed to the same values as you, that have similar goals in life, similar purposes, but most importantly, that may be different to who you are. And I think for me, this is one of my greatest lessons from building Ideapod, and it is that people are so different, we're so diverse, and that's what makes up the collective intelligence of human societies or even nature. It's when nature is decentralized and it kind of moves through things very slowly, bit by bit, and it's when every piece plays its role, but it plays its role in a very different way. When we can form groups of people that act kind of like tribes, where we all bring our different talents, our different insights, our different aspects of who we are, and we start to work together, I think that's when magic can be created. See, we've created artificial intelligence, we've created incredible computer systems, we've connected the online world through the internet, and yet we can't even reverse engineer the neurons in the brain of an ant, let alone the brain of a human. This is the greatest intelligence that's been created, as far as we know, in this universe ever. And it's truly a remarkable aspect of who we are. But when we can pull it together, when we can be humble, when we can recognize the limits of our knowledge, when we can actually interface with other human beings just like us, who are similar to us in terms of values and a purpose and a goal in life, we start to respect each other's differences, our unique talents. Then I think that's when we really come alive. We learn from each other, we come up with ideas together, we start implementing them together. And I have this insight around these incredible people here. I mean, look down there, I'm on this wonderful journey with the most remarkable human beings. We're all united in that we are here for a similar purpose. We're here for a similar reason. But we're all in our own very individual journeys. But when we communicate with each other, that's when the greatest human exchange is happening. That's when information passes to and from each other. We learn from each other's challenges. We grow through each other's perspectives on life. And I think when you're open to new ideas, when you can live life in this way, while also connecting with wonderful people, just like these people here, whoever they are in your own life, then I think we start to live a much more creative life and also a much more fulfilling life. Thanks so much for sticking with me all through this video. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button. Please also comment, let me know what you think. Really appreciate you being here. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.